What's up, guys? How's it going? It is Matt here. So, if you guys know what's going on in the country right now, there is pretty much a countrywide ammo shortage. There really is right now, to the point where the other day, when I went to shoot my Beretta, I was just kind of breaking it in. Is basically speaking, in order to buy a box of 9mm, which was available at the time, I had to pay $40 for one box of 50 rounds of full metal jacket. It wasn't even like a good brand. It was just a brand of ammo. So we're kind of in a tough spot right now when it comes to training. Now there's a lot of people, what they think training is they think it means a lot of bullets downrange, just all the time. That's what it is. Now I'm not saying that's bad. You need to be able to shoot the firearm. You need to be familiar with the firearm in order to use it. You have to be familiar with it. And the only way to get fully familiar with it is shooting live fire rounds at the range, shooting live fire. But with the current ammo shortage, it's a little bit more difficult to do so. So you have to start learning how to balance your training from lots of training to quality training. So we're going to be doing a series, or I'm going to be doing a series regarding this. Now today I'm just going to be showing you some equipment that I use on a daily basis to help me get better at the range, become a better marksman. I was an okay marksman for a long time, but by doing a lot of dry fire practice and some range time and going to specialized schools and stuff like that, I became a really good pistol shooter. And that comes with a lot of repetition, and that's with dry fire practice and live fire practice. So first thing we're going to talk about is safety. There's a lot of people that are really nervous about dry fire practice. There's a lot of people that are very anti dry fire practice. I've seen it in the comments. A lot of people that are actually terrified about dry fire practice because basically speaking is they think it's unsafe. You're in an area and you're pointing a direction in what they would consider an unsafe direction. You're handling a firearm. You're supposed to treat it like it's loaded at all times. So you're, according to their mind, according to them, you're not supposed to handle your firearm ever, pretty much, unless it's only supposed to sit in a holster. And I guess you're never supposed to bring it out and practice and train, because if you do, you're violating safety rules. So we all know how much bullshit that is. So basically speaking, when you do dry fire practice, the very first thing you need to do is clear your firearms. So I have two firearms down here that are ready. This is the Glock 19. It's been cleared prior to the video. All right. Then I have my Sig Sauer M17. This has also been cleared prior to the video. Now the place that I'm doing this training is downstairs in my basement. These are cement walls, right? And this is actually underground. The dirt line is actually up there, and I know all the safe directions that I can actually point this firearm in a safe area. So this is a very controlled environment, so don't flip out, people. Now, there's a couple things that I use when it comes to dry fire practice. As a Marine, when I was learning how to shoot a rifle, we did hours and hours of dry fire practice. Where it was in boot camp, the School of Infantry, and when I was actually in the Fleet Marine Force, we did a lot of dry fire practice. When we were overseas, we did a lot of dry fire practice. We did magazine changes. We did tactical magazine changes, quick magazine changes. We did it all. Dry fire practice, we did it on the fob when we were overseas. So when we go out in the field, we'd have that muscle memory. When we go out on patrol, we'd have that muscle memory, and that we could do it without hesitation. And that's what we were trying to develop during the entire time. So dry fire practice, for any actual professional shooter, you talk to any professional shooter while they're military or they're basically competition shooters, they will tell you dry fire practice is how you get good at handling your firearm, manipulating your firearm. Now dry fire practice also helps with marksmanship if you have good quality feedback. So there's some tools that are available out there that you can actually do the good quality feedback. So the first thing I want to show you is, you guys have seen this before, is laser trainers. There's so many different types of laser trainers out there. I think these are, what are they, iTarget Pro, I believe it was. I picked these ones up. They're laser trainers. This one's a 9mm, this one's a 45. How these work, you shove it in the chamber of the firearm gently, right? And on the back of it, there's a little kind of rubber, I think it's rubber, I don't know, a pad on there. So when the striker or the hammer hits it, you have a laser that shoots in the direction. See it, blow up the camera there for a little bit. So these are great for feedback, and it also makes, practice fun. It really does. Some people say go airsoft, go the airsoft route. I guess you could. I mean, the guns are very similar, and there is that little pellet that's shooting, and it'll be in a safe. Make sure you're doing it in a safe direction. Gives you a little bit of feedback. Now, there's also a new tool that I'm really into right now. I just picked it up this week, and I'm kind of really excited about it because I've been messing around with it. This is called the Mantis X10 Elite. So this is the Mantis X10 Elite. So here's a little thingy for it. All right, a little thingy there. So basically what this is tiny little thing. It's actually really unique. Basically the way how this works is you have to mount it on one of your pistols. So obviously you need a rail. All right, once again, these are clear. You need a rail for the pistol or mount it on the pistol. So basically what you do is you put it on the actual rail of the pistol, and then what you have to do is you download an app. It's like a free app that you find in MantasX in whatever app store that you go to, and you download that. Now the way how this works is it makes all these different measurements on your movements. So if you're pulling the trigger, all right, if you're pulling the trigger, it will actually measure any slight movements that you make. Any slight movements. There's a little graph that shows up and it measures anything that you have. There's actually drills built into it. There's drills for time. There's drills for accuracy. There's so many drills that you can use with this thing. You could also use it for live fire practice too. So basically speaking, this gives you immediate feedback onto how you're doing when it comes to the firearm. So immediate feedback. So I'm going to mount it real quick and I'm going to show you how this thing works. All right, here it is, guys. So I have it mounted on the rail. Basically, there's this little tab right here. You push it up and it kind of hooks into the rail. So you need some sort of the rail that's on there. So you set it up just like this. Now, if you're going to go use this with holster work, obviously you need a holster that can have like a light bearing holster that can fit in. Like me, I'm specifically put on this because this is the only light bearing holster I really have. Right, so you put it right there on the rail, just like now. The first thing that I'm going to do now that I'm on here is I'm going to push this button down here and turns it on. All right, see that button is on. Now I'm going to the actual app, which you can see it right here on the phone. All right, and I'm going to connect to it. Okay, so if you take a look at all these settings that they have on there. I don't know if you can see them very well. You see my donut light reflection in there. They have all these settings. It's pretty cool. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go to the open training setting. That is right here. So I'll go to open training. Now I'm right there. All right, open training. Now it says dry fire practice, right-handed, and it's mounted. It shows you where the gun is mounted on the gun. So you do that, and then you actually do the pistol that you're going to be choosing. Let's see, this is the scene that you go to. It shows you could put this on a rifle too. So I'm set up on the pistol. I'm at dry fire practice. I'm putting it at the forward, and I'm pointing it in the forward position. There's a little angle on it. Bottom mount. Now I'm going to go to the actual pistol choice. It says select a firearm. They have all these calculations are in here, so it's a really cool tool. So select the firearm. So I'm going to go Sig Sauer. Here we go. Now they don't have M17, but they have P320. So go to the P320, and it actually has a caliber. This is 357 SIG, 40, whatever. This is 9x19. All right, there you go. So that's completely set up, and now I'm going to go to the train button. Okay, now I'm just going to simply go to the start. Okay, now the way how this works is I'll show you this real time. So I'm going to put this in a safe direction. All right, pull the trigger. Let's see what it does. Tells you right there that was 82.7% accuracy, or it comes to the score. So we're going to do it again. So we'll rack it. I'm not really trying, I'm just kind of showing you. And we're going to do it again. Oh, here we go. Ready? 85.7% accuracy. See, it makes all the calculations. Basically what it's doing is basically it's any slight movements that this makes, it's measuring. It's measuring every single movement, and it shows it to you in real time. Now what it does is it averages these. So right now this is at 2 shots that I did. So we'll do another shot. Let's see if I'll actually try this one, right? That one I actually put effort into. That came to 91.9%. All right. So basically what it's doing is judging the gun movements, judging my trigger pull, and everything else. It's taking all that information and is putting them directly for you for real time, so you can actually see what you're doing. So there's also a graph on it. If I take a look here. Yes, sure, it requires. It needs 50 or more shots, so I'm not doing that at the moment. But basically speaking, what it does is it tells you how you're doing when it comes to shooting. Now what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to jerk the trigger. All right, so let's jerk the trigger real quick. I'll restart it so we can do it. So let's see what we can do. I tried jerking it. I still get 82.4%. Did a nice little jerk on it. But basically, what it does, guys, it said actually too much. It's actually saying right down here, too much trigger finger, and that I'm thumbing it. That's basically what it says. So it's a kind of a unique little app. So it's a really great tool when it comes to dry fire practice. It's like your own little personal coach. It really is. It's like your own little personal coach. It's something I'm really enjoying using. It's kind of fun to use. It can actually help you critique yourself when it comes to this. It really can. I'll put a link in the description below of the app MantasX so you guys take a look at it. So it's a really great tool, guys. It really is a great tool. And once again, guys, we're gonna be doing a whole series on this, on how to train when there's an ammo shortage. And this is just a basic presentation of the tools that I use in dry fire practice. But I'm actually going to be giving you drills in later videos. I'm going to try to get at least 2 videos in a week, is I've planned. I'm going to actually give you some drills that you can actually do in your home for dry fire practice. I'm going to give you some tips for live fire training as well, in order to conserve ammo and get the best possible training as you possibly can. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about me. And remember, guys, it's our responsibility to take care of each other and protect each other. Peace.